Okay, are we live? I guess we're live. I am completely new to live streaming in this fashion, so we'll see how this goes. We'll see how many people actually tune in, seeing as how it's 1:25 in the afternoon on a Tuesday. So uh, if you do happen to be tuning in, hello, welcome. Doing something a little bit different here today. Um, so you may have heard, my friend Brandon might have posted something about this last night. We're doing another charity march, but it's not going to be for Waterloo Uncovered. It's going to be a World War I themed march, and we are going to be raising funds for the Commonwealth War Graves Commission, which is a charity organization dedicated to preserving graves of British and Commonwealth soldiers around the world, as well as battlefields of both the First and Second World Wars. And we are going to be doing this in full kit, in full marching order, which sounds great. The one problem with it is that full marching order includes the large pack, or the valise, which, as you can see, I have not yet blancoed. And so I need to do that first before I am ready to appear on the march. So that's what we're doing right now. I have my liquid Blanco from Soldier of Fortune. And so we are going to begin to apply that to the large pack in just a few moments. But I need to do some preparation first. So right now, I'm actually just getting the cotton damp just a little bit. And this is basically just going to make it a little more absorbent, and so the Blanco will actually spread more easily, and I won't end up using quite as much. I've already applied Blanco to all of the rest of my web gear, but I only ordered about 2 bottles, and that was not enough for the large pack, which requires about 2 bottles all on its own. So, nice day for it anyway. It's a very nice, cool, early September day. It's like a high of 73. Very nice. Couldn't have asked for better weather to be doing this. Okay. That should about do the trick. Now, there's probably a safety seal underneath this. No? Or maybe not. Okay. No, look at that. Pour it out for easier application. I'm going to be out here doing this until either I finish or my tablet runs out of battery. We'll see what comes first. Okay. Yeah. So as you can see, now that I've applied that thin coating of water, it spreads very easily. I'm going to try to get on 2 coats. Wow, we have 7 people watching. Hello, everyone. I'm sorry I haven't really been looking at the chat, but if you're here watching this right now, welcome. Actually, is there some way I can actually see the chat? There we go. All right. Oh, and I've already managed to get Blanco on my touchscreen, so whoops. Nice going, Chris. It's fine. Everything's fine. I'm gonna try not to get too much of it on the brass, because that's a bitch to clean off, but it's not the end of the world. So we'll just try to get that first coat on, let it dry for a little bit, and then we'll apply the second coat, and then we'll flip it around and do it all again. Hello, Maxwell. Glad to see you're with us. You can tell I really sort of improvised this camera setup. If I had the patience, I would have gotten my camera up on a tripod and, could be looking down on the whole setup, get sort of a bird's eye view, but I don't have that kind of forethought or patience. So you get amateur hour. Am I going to Collins Foundation in October? I didn't realize they were still having an event in October. I just kind of assumed that everything's canceled. Have I been to a World War I battlefield? Not specifically, no. I mean, I have been to countries that would have contained World War I battlefields. I've been to France, for example, but it was all just kind of on a guided tour, and I didn't really get to do much individual exploration on my own time. If I had been, then yeah, absolutely, I would have loved to have gone to the Somme or something like that, but maybe some other day. Hello, Koala. I'm getting it all over my... Into the field where the Red Baron got shot down. Oh, man. Okay, so it's not arena. Okay, so it's not like their Battle of the Airfield or whatever they do every year. I don't know, then. That might be a little bit just too much of a risk for me. If it's in Massachusetts, I might not actually be able to realistically go. Because we'll have to see how long this little lockdown lasts. For those of you who don't know, the state of Massachusetts has restricted travel to and from the state of Rhode Island because we had a small spike in COVID cases like 3 weeks ago or so, and Charlie Baker pulled a Madagascar in Pandemic 2 and just had shut down everything. So I'm hoping at least one person gets that reference. We had somebody in the chat ask what I'm painting. I am painting my World War I large pack, or rather valise, if we're going to be using the correct World War I terminology. And I'm doing this in preparation for a little charity march that I'm going to be doing at the end of this month. More information on that later on. was actually going to include a link in the description for this for the GoFundMe page that we're using for the march, but it just kind of threw me into this. I didn't get the opportunity to edit the description, so I'll do that later. We had another question here. Hang on, what did that say? How long have I been reenacting? So this is technically my 5th year. I know it's some year for it, but yeah, I started reenacting, I think, it was the uh, summer of 2015. That's when I joined the 54th. Okay. You know what? This brush is not doing me any good. It's just kind of shedding bristles all over the pack. That's no good. So forget that. Oh, we had somebody asking about is somebody asking about With Zeal and Bayonets Only? Yeah, so that's a book that's all about basically uh, the British grand strategy during the Revolutionary War. It kind of takes, it looks at the British Army kind of from every aspect, starting from the top and then working down. It talks about their kind of their overall plan for how the war was going to go, and then it talks about how the army was structured on both a battalion, a regimental, a company level, and then eventually just kind of gets into the specifics of just how the average British soldier thought about the war. Um, really good book, probably like the premier book to read if you are getting interested in reenacting, especially if you are getting interested in portraying the British side. It's a must read. It's right up there with British Soldiers, American War by Don Haggis. The author of Zeal and Bayonets Only, incidentally, is Matthew Spring. It's a very good book, very enjoyable. If only reenactors would follow the information. Yeah, seriously. We're kind of, I think, in a tricky spot as Revolutionary War reenactors because there's a lot of documentation out there that we know exists, but uh, practically it's not as easy to follow. You know, for example, we know that most engagements would have been taking place at a distance of 250 yards or something like that. The problem is at a lot of these sites that we go to have these events, you don't have 250 yards. You're working with a distance that is much, much smaller. So, you do what you can. Okay. So. Oh boy. Okay, whoop. That's what it's looking like. Actually, I'm surprised by. I know it's a very ugly color, isn't it? It seems to be actually drying pretty quickly, so I might be able to get away with Yeah, look at that. I might be able to get away with applying the second coat already. This reminds me I have to polish my cartridge box. Oh, yeah, that's always fun. So this is my World War One era large pack, which I have neglected to Blanco for as long as I have because, well, one, I previously did not have the Blanco on hand, and also, um, really the large pack, it doesn't really come into play all that often for the time period that I am portraying, which is, late war, so 1917, 1918. By that point, the large pack had mostly been retired in favor of the haversack or the small pack. So you really only use the large pack for like one specific point in time when you're going to like something like Newville, for example, and that's when you're just coming into the line, and then you drop off wearing small pack. If I'm going to be going on a march, I want to make sure I actually have all of the correct gear so that I can carry the correct amount of weight. Now, so I got this Blanco off of the Soldier Fortune website. They say on the website that uh, one bottle of this stuff isn't to get you through an entire set of webbing. That's pretty much a bald-faced lie. If you're going to be Blancoing your web gear for the first time, I would highly recommend that you get, at the very least, 2 bottles, possibly 3. Actually, at that point, you might as well make it 4, just to be on the safe side. Does the Emperor protect? I don't know. Does he also attack? Oh well, there goes my plan for not getting it all over the brass. I see some steel wool and brasso in my future. Great. Whatever. It's fine. King George III is the only emperor. Agreed. Agreed, Maxwell. Oh, jeez. Got, like, bits of paint are falling off of the paintbrush and onto the pack. I don't like that. Yes, in fact, Brandon is on the BAR board. Bagpipes, do I like them? Yeah, I love bagpipes. Okay. Right, so that is looking... It's looking pretty good for the time being. Just going to let it dry for a little bit, and then we will flip it over and see what it looks like on the other side. I'm not going to try to do this top part, because that's just going to fold down and you won't see it, so it's a waste of Blanco. Well, thank you, Starzerg. I'm glad you think so. Of course, I can touch all of this up later if need be. If there's any spots that I miss, it's not the end of the world. Just happy accidents, as Bob Ross would say. So how's everyone doing today? "16 people watching this. Wow. Huh. If I ever come to Sweden, maybe I can play the pipes for you and Brandon. Yeah, sure. If I ever come to Sweden. I would like to go to Sweden sometime. You know, when I can afford it, and when this pandemic craziness is over. Agreed. Agreed, Maxwell. Rope always looks cool. Are we back? I think we're back. Okay, good. Sorry, I'm outside, so the connection's a little bit spotty right now. Just have to deal with it. Right. Discipline the rebels. It's a little... eh. Actually, I think it's probably safe to turn this over. Blah, blah. What's happening with the Bolton event? That's canceled. That got canceled long ago, unfortunately. Okay. Alright. Now we have to deal with this whole situation. All those straps, all those lovely straps. That's gonna be fun. First, let's do a little more cleaning. I'm just gonna brush it off with my hand. This has basically just been sitting on my dining room table since I got it back in like April. I don't know. So it's just kind of been collecting dust and, I don't know, cat fur and whatnot. It occurs to me I probably should have I should have gotten a second brush to apply the water, but whatever, it is what it is. Were loyalists less nice to American prisoners than the regular army? I mean, prisoners in general in the American War of Independence were not really treated the best. So, but there was an awful lot of animosity for the rebels, both on the regular army side and the loyalist side. But I mean, especially in the South, I mean, some of the encounters between the rebels and the loyalist forces got really ugly. So. Actually, if you're interested in learning more on that, I would definitely recommend After Yorktown by Don Glickstein. Lots of good information on that in there. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna actually see if I can take these straps off for the time being, because they are just gonna get in the way and annoy me. Ah, come on. If I can actually get them off, that is the question. There we go. There. So I'll just Blanco these separately. So there we go. All right, see you later, Maxwell. Thanks for stopping by. It's all these squirrels chattering just off frame. Hello, Blue Ridge Jack. That's all nice and damp now. Now we can work on applying the Blanco to the other side. Now, some of you might be wondering why I'm doing this exactly, what the necessity of the Blanco actually is. Basically, it has two purposes. The first is to sort of give the pre-shrunk cotton a little bit of a protective coating, and the second, I believe, is to give everything a little bit of more of a uniform appearance, because these things wouldn't all be produced in the same places, and so sometimes they would come out and they would be slightly different shades. And so this way, everything is just one nice, uniform shade of green. It's a little bit odd that it's green, and yet it's still called Blanco. I believe that's a holdover from the days when they were still using pipe clay. Hold on, we had another question. What was that? Spats or gators? Explain to me what the difference is exactly. I'm a little bit ignorant. Am I Swedish? No. No, I'm not. Oh God. Oh, it hurts my soul to get the Blanco on the brass, but there's nothing I can do about it. Okay, hang on. Spats are a leather or canvas thing you button over your shoe and it gouges up to your ankles. Gaiters are the strips of cloth that are wound around the legs. Okay, so usually what you call spats, we would call gaiters. What you would call gaiters, we would call puttees. So that's where the confusion stems from, I think. For those of you who are just joining us, this is what I'm painting. Again, this is my large pack, or valise, for my World War I British kit. Ugh, God. I wish I had a finer brush, but I don't. It's hard to get into the more hard to reach areas. I'm mostly just using this little bowl of water here just to clean off my fingertips at this point. Last time I did this, I inadvertently had green fingernails for about a week afterwards. Look at that. This is basically the entire contents of this bottle. Almost all the way gone now. It goes by really quickly. I'm surprised we were able to take it this far, though. It definitely makes a difference when you get the cotton wet beforehand. And we're back, I think. Sorry about that. Connection dropped again. How often were they expected to Blanco their kit on the front line? I don't actually know. I know that this stuff is built to last, so, you know, for us as reenactors, we really only have to reapply it maybe once every few years. But then again, we maybe only have one or two events a year, whereas, you know, soldiers on the front line would have been in service for considerably longer. But I mean, once you were off the front line, basically your kit was expected to be spotless. So sorry about that, connection dropped again. Look at that, we have already cleared out this bottle. Unbelievable. So one bottle of Soldier of Fortune Blanco gets you most of the way through like 1.5 coats of a large pack. That is unreal. You know what? I'm gonna have to crack open the other bottle. Really glad I bought 3. Oh, you know what? Can't forget to shake it first. This could almost be like an ASMR thing. Almost. I once had somebody leave a comment on one of my World War I reenactment videos asking if he could use the background audio for an ASMR video. And I was like, okay, I don't think of World War I as being, the first thing that I think of when I think of ASMR, but, all right. This is Bob Ross. Yeah. We're going to paint a happy little large pack here. Unfortunately, I don't have any titanium white. All right. So that is the first coat on this side. And it actually took me so long to do the upper half that I can probably start on the bottom half again now. So we'll do that. Yeah, so that's not the same video. That was out long before I started putting out my World War I videos. Uh, this was someone else who actually has a dedicated ASMR channel. Most of the sound effects in that video are taken from Battlefield 1. I can tell because I've spent about 300 something hours in that game. I should actually try to play that game more now that I have actually got a computer that can handle both running it and Streamlabs at the same time. Yes, agreed. Of the two games, Verdun is far superior. Although I've said this before, but I wish there was a happy medium between the two games. Although, I don't know, we'll have to see what Beyond the Wire ends up looking like. I've been following the development of that game, and so far it's looking pretty good, I have to say. Although some of the uniforms look a bit off, particularly the French uniforms. They're just way too bright. But hey, it's in very early alpha at this stage, so anything can change. Now for the happy dogs. Did Bob Ross ever draw dogs? I don't know, or paint. I should grow a handlebar mustache. I don't know if I can pull that off. This is where the perfectionist side of me comes out, because I'm just trying to find all the spots that I missed and cover those up. Yeah. I can't really see it on the camera too well, but this stuff really kind of sticks to you. Happy little rotting corpse. Oh, jeez. You know, just typical World War One. Okay. Well, I suppose I might as well start on the straps now. I can just kind of rotate that out of the way. There we go. I don't have quite as much room here as I thought. Am I a monarchist? No. Well, it's a good thing that I laid out this newspaper here, because otherwise I'd be painting the table more than I'm painting the belting. Oh, jeez, buckles. Oh, the buckles are going to be so hard to clean off afterwards. Oh, pains me. Okay. Praise him. More or less. Okay, great. So that's the first coat done on the straps anyway. Actually, now that it's had a little more time to dry, I can see a few more spots that I missed, so I'm just going to go over those real quick. Alright. Oh, you know what? I forgot about these little suckers right at the end there. So I'll have to do those as well. So these two little straps here, they kind of go diagonally across the front of the pack. For the longest time, I couldn't for the life of me figure out what they were supposed to be for until yesterday I saw a picture of my friend Matt wearing the large pack, and he was wearing the soft cap, and actually his Brody helmet was tucked into the back of the large pack with the rim resting between these two straps. And so I saw that and I was like, oh, that's why that's there. It's funny how you don't put these things together until you actually see it in action. Uh-oh. I got a little bit of paint on the table, which is precisely what I was trying to avoid. Okay. Right. So, I think that is that, as they say. Look at that. Uh, oh, okay, here we go. Lost connection again. Sorry about that. It doesn't seem to like when I move it, so I'm just gonna leave it alone. We had a message from the man himself, Colton. What is up, dude? Um, Sorry to say you just about missed the interesting part. We just finished the second coating on the front side of the pack. As you can see, got it right there. So I'm just kind of waiting for it to dry a little bit. The man, the myth, the legend. Yes, indeed. Hello, Nick. Hello, Nick. So yeah, just gonna literally watch paint dry for a bit, and you know, we'll maybe do one more pass over the spots that I missed, and then probably call it a day. I heard people were talking about me, so I'm here now. There you go. You've been summoned. Actually, while we are while we're waiting for this to dry, this might be a cool time to show off the other little project that I've been working on. Please hold. Be right back. There we go. Battalion flashes. So that's the other thing I've been working on. I've been really trying to dial in my impression for the 1st Battalion Dorset Regiment specifically. So part of that is sewing on the little felt patches to not only the helmet cover, but also the tunic as well. So it's the little red square on its side with the 2 red bars underneath it. So the square is to symbolize the regiment, and the bars signify the company. So the square is red depending... the square is red across all of the companies, but the company bars are a different color. So you have A company, which is red, and then I think C company is yellow. And then there's another one that I think is blue. It's all just kind of a mess. I don't exactly know how it all goes together, but yeah. There's that. My God, I need a haircut. Something fierce. Anyway, that's just a fun little thing I wanted to share. Where is the Brody from? I got it from eBay. It was about $75 on eBay. And it had no liner in it, which is great, so I didn't have to worry about ruining an original liner, and I didn't have to worry about asbestos. Because apparently, the thing about these original helmets, if the original liner is still intact, there's a thin little layer of asbestos between the top of the liner and the bottom of the shell. So my whole initial plan where I had the original helmet with the original liner, and I thought, oh yeah, no, I'll take the old liner out and I'll swap it out with a reproduction and we'll be good to go. No, don't do that. That's a bad idea. All of you warning me not to do that, you were right. So asbestos, very healthy. Yes, yes indeed. I love mesothelioma. Who doesn't? Who doesn't? It's great, isn't it? So yeah, the whole saga of the helmet was just it was just a whole process from start to finish. Asbestos is basically it's like a fireproofing material that they just kind of slapped on everything. It happens that it's toxic if you breathe it in. So, fun stuff. Okay, we're back once again. Sorry about that. The connection just keeps dropping. There's nothing I can do about it. I have to just manually reconnect every time, and I'm just kind of like staring into the camera like some boomer. So I'm sorry that you all have to see that. That's very unfortunate. You know, you probably can't really see it, but it's kind of astonishing the difference one coat makes over two coats. Like, you apply one coat and you think you're tempted to just kind of call it a day, but then once it dries, you realize how little one coat actually does. Are there any Revolutionary War reenactment events coming up in New York? I wouldn't count on it, dude. all all events are pretty much on hold. That is, any events with any sort of actual shooting, they're all on hold. There's still a few little small events going on at like little historic homesteads where it's just, interpretation with the public, but there's no pew pew. What's another period impression I would do pre 1900? Huh. I don't know, actually. I would have to think about that one. To be honest, the whole 19th century just honestly doesn't really appeal to me that much. I know I'm probably in the minority when I say that, but I find the 18th century as a whole to just be much more interesting. I like that sort of pre-industrialization era. Once you start to deal with factories. Are we back? Okay, we're back. Sorry about that once again. This is really amateur hour. Okay. Put those aside once again. Oops. Oops, I was just about to do a little sign off there, but then I lost connection in the middle of my sign off, so let's try that again. We're pretty much done here. I got the second coat on this side, and I've already got two coats on the other side as well, so I won't keep you any longer. Thank you for joining me through this whole process. It was fun talking with you all. I hope you all found this at least somewhat interesting. Again, I am doing this in preparation for a march that I am going to be taking part in at the end of September. So that's Sunday, September 27th. We are going to be marching 8 miles in full British kit, marching order, and we are going to be raising funds for the Commonwealth War Graves Commission, which is an organization dedicated to grave and battlefield preservation for soldiers who fought and died in both the First and Second World Wars. So I will have a link to that up in my channel, hopefully by the end of the day, so you can follow that. Donate any amount that you wish, if you can. If you can't, it's no big deal. Yes, that is the one that Brandon is doing. And we are going to be probably doing some streaming of Verdun at some point. Maybe not this evening, but sometime this week we're going to be doing some streaming, and the proceeds from that stream will also go to the march. So keep your eyes peeled for that. Anyway, I'm going to sign off if I can figure out how before I lose connection again. Thank you all for watching. God save the king.